My last question is just a question for me, really. Um, what was it like going on Joe Rogan? What was that experience like?
It was a YOLO experience, I'll tell you. I mean, first of all, and an out of body one. I'll be completely honest with you. I still have no idea why he wanted to talk to me. Obviously, he had heard about my free speech book. He had not read it. You very kindly actually read the book, clearly.
I did.
Joe
Well, one
Rogan.
of the things I'll maybe just say that one of the things I was pleasantly surprised about when I usually get a guest on, I'll order the book and I'll read as much of it as I can. I'm not a very fast reader, so I usually get maybe halfway through if I'm lucky. But it arrived, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get through this. It's going to be fine."
And he kind of read, he did it, his staff did. And obviously, he's broadly interested in the question. But
Yeah.
if you watch the interview, I mean, we don't talk that much about free speech. That's clearly what drew him to me. Um, but I'll be very honest with you. I had not listened to Joe Rogan before he asked me to go on.
Right.
And Joe Rogan's target audience is you. It's not me, right? It's like white guys in their 20s. So after I got the invite, I just called the 20 something male sons of my friends,
Right.
right? And just said, okay, what do I need to know? Like, what's
Mm,
going on here? And,
mm,
where do I fit? Because if you look at who else is on Rogan, it's like, a guy who drove a dog sled across Alaska or, bungee jumped on ecstasy or whatever it is. And I'm just like this skinny Jewish college professor. Like, what am I even doing there? And I still don't know the answer. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking to him. I had heard a lot of negative things about him because that's what the internet is. It's negative things. But I thought he was extremely cordial and friendly. And the thing I really liked about him is he didn't put on airs. Joe Rogan is an autodidact. He doesn't have a lot of formal education, right? And autodidacts often know a great deal about certain things that they've dug into. But then there are very big gaps just because they didn't have formal education. I'll admit that I was somewhat surprised that when I started talking about the caste system in Nepal, where I served in the Peace Corps and the idea of untouchability, that Rogan seemingly had never heard of that. Like that there still is a caste system. And by the way, the listeners in Nepal, which was an incredible freak out as well, that people in Nepal listen to Joe Rogan, they were all over this.
mm.
And there was like a subreddit of Nepalis that listened to Joe Rogan and that were, I speak Nepali a little bit in the show. They're like parsing my accent. The whole thing was just wild, just
Yeah.
the Joe Rogan seems like the most American thing on earth to me. Even the
Yeah.
idea that there were Nepalis listening to it was incredible, but that they actually have chat groups where they discuss it. So it was an amazing experience. It was a whole world that I wasn't familiar with. But
Mm,
I'm glad that I did it because I learned more about that world, you know,
mm,
um, and I gained more appreciation for what he does than I had had because I was ignorant about it.
mm.